Hello and welcome to another episode of the File Card Podcast. I'm your co-host Mike.
And I'm Joe.
Well, we got another fun show for you today. Joe's freshly back from the Columbus Toy Show, and he got a great haul to share with us. And also, we got a community spotlight today. But before we get started, somebody has a birthday coming up.
I do.
That's right. Joe's getting older than he wants to be, which is good, right? Because if you're not getting older, then you succumb to Cobra. So, Joe, I got you a gift.
Okay.
I want you to open it. Opening presents is good podcasting.
Yeah. That is awesome. Mike got me dice, mint on card, Ninja Force. Where did you find this?
That's an internet buy.
That's awesome.
We saw it at D&E's a couple weeks ago when we went, and we should have picked it up. We picked up a lot of other stuff. But just a guy we've wanted, really enjoyed as a kid. And so I couldn't get back there, but I was able to snag him for a good price online.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, happy birthday.
That's awesome.
So I want to know, are you willing to open him up and find out if he has tight joints?
Right now. Oh my goodness.
Or well, you want to open it maybe another time and you can just think on it?
Yeah.
Because that's probably the biggest question with dice is, we had two of them as a kid and they always had loose joints right out of the packages. Mm-hmm. The knees and the legs were just...
Slice was the same way.
Yeah. So I don't know if the quality control was down that year, but yeah. So I don't know. I'm hoping that we got a good one here. This will be the third one we've opened out of the package. And you would think 1 out of 3 would be tight joints.
Yeah. This is 20-some years later. We're open for tight joints. This is awesome. No, I really, really appreciate this. So I've seen this a bunch of times recently, and what always kept me from buying them was the grenades, the silver grenades. Always were scratched up, and I was just waiting till, I came across one that was perfect. See, now you got me in a tough spot because, I'm a displayer. I don't collect on the card, and I don't mind opening, but this card's like perfect. Like, this is just about perfect. Like, they weren't this nice, in 92 when we bought them. No, I had that concern whenever I got it. They said it was like a C8 condition when I bought it online, and I was like, we'll see, because sometimes they exaggerate. But then, we got it, and it turned out to be really good. One of the things I do remember about this one is with Ninja Force, I did not know Ninja Force was coming. I remember going into Kmart for the first time and seeing them on the shelves and just being excited and blown away because now G.I. Joe had ninjas. I don't remember seeing any of the marketing or any of that. I don't know what your first memories are. I think the commercials for me. But the biggest one is what stands out was the comic book. Because the Ninja series with Slice and Dice were first introduced and the comic book to us. Or that's when I fell in love with them personally, was that series. And I don't remember any of the story. I just remember, they were the guys, Slice and Dice. I wasn't a fan of Cobra, but all of a sudden I wanted to be the Cobra, from these two.
Yeah, very menacing. Very menacing.
Yeah. Their figures didn't age as great but those comic book memories of them. So, are priceless. Those were the guys. This is awesome. I really appreciate it.
Well, happy birthday.
Thank you. I really don't know if I'll be able to open it.
Well, there's also a little insert in there, and I really want to know what's on that insert. Because we've talked about this before, one of the best part of G.I. Joe's was those little inserts. They had the little catalogs. One of the reasons we like Battle Armor Dad so much on Twitter, he's always posting those.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to open it, but I'm going to wait for the right time.
All right, sounds good. Maybe when you're having a bad day at work or something, you come home, open a G.I. Joe.
That would probably be it.
Right on.
Oh, man. I'm tempted to open it now. All right, I got to put it down, or I'm going to open it. Well, what's funny is I just picked up Slice last week.
Yeah, no, I was real nervous when you said you picked up a Ninja Force, because I had him for a while.
Oh, yeah. So now I got them both, Slice and Dice.
Yeah, and you got a good one. You showed him to me, so you got a good one. Well, we don't know, actually, if Dice is good until you open him up.
Oh. Should I do it? No, I can't do it now because I got to get at least a picture of it like this.
Right.
Like in the pristine, perfect condition.
Unless a listener out there was to say, I have a perfect one, and I'll trade you straight up. I don't know if straight up would actually be the deal, but maybe there could be some bargaining out there happening, right?
Yeah.
Because this is a pretty nice card.
Well, if they're out there, they better contact me soon.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
good awesome.
Deal.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. Okay, Joe, so who do you got for our community spotlight?
Our community spotlight is Plastic Battles from Twitter and Instagram.
He has some great diorama sets that he takes pictures of. I guess that would be the best way to describe it, right?
I don't even know where you start with Paul. He's a very talented guy. He has a podcast. He has I don't know what if you would call it a photography business, but he does toy photography. He has a huge Instagram account. He also has a business where a website where he sells the photographs that he takes. It's really awesome. And I think he does graphic design also. I don't know if that's what he does in the real world or off on the side, but he just helped us out recently. And I posted out on Twitter, what program does everybody use? And he reached out to us and he said what program does everybody use to design Legos? And he reached out to us and he designed ours for us. So that was awesome. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, he designed a great logo. Looks really good on Joe's sweatshirt he posted. And we could have designed for the next 100 years and we would have never got one half as nice. So we really, really appreciate it. And what I like about his pictures, and I was telling you this the other day, whenever I see something he's taken, that's the scene, that's what I saw when I set up my toys when I was a kid, right? There's actually like Mountain Dew cans and stuff in the background, but in my mind, it was a battle set. It was there were the stakes were high, the dramatic rescues were happening, and he does a great job of capturing that with his still photography.
Yeah, it's exactly it. It's not like a G.I. Joe picture. He's like G.I. Joes are real in the real world or their own universe, and he's taking you into their universe. That's what it's like.
Yeah.
So it's amazing what he's able to do and the amount of time he must spend on it. It's amazing.
Yep. Keep it up.
Yeah, it's a lot more talented than we are.
For sure. That's real talent.
And then the other thing he's got is I don't know, if you haven't seen this yet, you're going to want to check it out, is the Pizza Box diorama video on YouTube. So if I would have found that video 10 years ago, I would have never stopped collecting G.I. Joes back then. Like, I wanted to build a diorama, and I tried, and I just never was able to put it together. And in a 3-minute video, he shows you the simplest way to do it, and it's beautiful. Like, anybody can do what he did, I believe. We're going to give it a shot. We'll find out.
Yeah, it does look very simple. I often find those YouTube videos to do anything looks very simple. So we'll see just how simple it really is. But he did break it down into easy steps, and I feel like even if you don't get it to work the first time, just if you go back and watch it and slow down the process that he's doing, you're going to be able to put together something pretty nice.
Yeah, what I did the other day was I rewatched it and I just got a notepad out and paused it every time he brought out a new supply and wrote that down, the brand, and I looked it all up on Amazon and I got my shopping cart ready. I just, got to click that purchase button. Well,
that's pretty cool. So another community tip I have. You want to know a community tip?
Yeah.
All right. I took I took apart my dryer this week. I had to replace the belt.
Okay.
All right. 13 years I've had this dryer. I found 4 solo cups full of change.
Really?
Yes. So for any collectors out there that their wives are on you saying, hey, you know what? Tighten up the belt a little bit here. We're spending too much. Take apart your dryer. Fill up your change drawer. Go to the bank. I bet you come away with $50 to $100.
I love it.
Yeah, I was very impressed. I was happy.
So now, since you found all that money, do you get to keep it? And is that now money for Joe's?
Well, yeah. So I have an envelope I've started for JoeFest if we get to go. Mm-hmm. And I will be putting my share of it. My daughter helped me. Audrey helped me. So she's taken half of it for a cat fund that she thinks she's
The cat fund, yes. My daughters are very excited about the cat your daughter's getting.
Yeah, I don't know that that's actually happening, but she has been saving, so we split the money. And it was fun, but I was impressed that you could have that much change, over time.
Right.
And I also found Lego guns, lots of Lego guns.
Okay.
So we stored up some of those too, and various other things.
Now, before we switch subjects, Ronnie from Instagram hit us up, and last episode we were wondering what the sticker was on the bat.
Yeah.
And he knows what it is, and I'll let you try to pronounce it, because I don't. I can't pronounce that, but just so if there's anybody else who's always wondering what you called that.
I'd call that lenticular.
Lenticular.
Yeah. Lenticular. Lenticular. Thank you for that. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Not a lot, but some feedback, from out there, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah, keep it coming. Good, bad, or ugly. Send it our way.
Bad and the ugly we already got. Me and you.
Yeah, yep. All right, Joe. So you just got back maybe 2 hours ago from the Columbus Toy Show. This is one of the ones you've had circled for a while. Just take it away. How was it?
Oh, it was a blast. But let me just backtrack a little bit. So it was a very busy weekend. Yesterday my daughter had state gymnastics, so that took up our day. I'm very busy with that. She got 4th overall in the state in her age, so that was awesome.
Great job.
Proud of Natalie. So, and then tried to get to bed early last night. That did not happen. So I went to bed pretty late, but was still getting up at 4. So I got up, was trying to. Got up at 4:30 this morning. We got out of the house about 10 after 5. So, Columbus is a little over 3 hours from Charleston where we live. So we got there just a few minutes after 8, fought the traffic getting in, and there was a line. And a big line. And it was cold. So it was well worth the wait. Got in there. It's 35,000 square feet. And I think there was
which is just 1,000 square foot bigger than your home, right?
my apartment's about the size of a shoebox.
All right. No. So let me ask you about this line. So when you're waiting in line, you and your son went, right?
Yeah, Joey came with me.
Are you just assuming that every person in front of you is looking for the same thing you are?
Yes. Everybody, all 200 people in front of me are looking for Steel Brigade, and in my mind, there's one in there. Yeah.
Right.
That's why, we left at 5 o'clock in the morning, because we had to get to Columbus, had to drive for 3 hours in the dark, to secure the only Steel Brigade left, to mankind.
And 200 people in front of you want the same thing.
Yeah, that's all. They were all there. They were all there trying to find mean dog parts, general parts, and a Steel Brigade. That's what they were there for.
Yeah, they didn't want anything else.
Nothing else.
Yeah.
That's just that.
All right, so you get in.
So, no, we get in, and it's boom. It's just an explosion. I mean, because you walk in right to the center and left and right equal distance, and you just got to try to decide where you want to go. We decided we're going to go to the left, and we just started working the tables, and came across some great deals. The first 2-3 minutes, I thought, okay, this is going to be good. You knew there'd be Joe stuff, but then you really run into it right away, and that's a real good sign. Ran into Wild Card, the Mean Dog Driver. This one here that I picked up today, I mean, I feel bad because he's never been played with. I mean, it's awesome I got him, but the kid who got him when he was a kid never did anything with him.
Wow. I mean, every joint is tight. Paint is perfect. Mm-hmm. The machete.
And I loved that machete when we were
kids.
Fits
tight in there.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember ours was all scratched up on the handle?
Yeah.
It's like we chewed on it or something.
We might have. We probably were 5. Basically animals at that age. This is great. This is a great piece. And we've said before, this was our gung-ho.
Right.
So every once in a while, I kind of think of this as like an alternate version of gung-ho. But very cool. Very cool.
I never understood his helmet.
Oh, the weakest part of it, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm taking it off. The helmet was on it when I bought it. And they wouldn't let me take it off at the show. The vendor wouldn't. He wanted me to keep it on, but no, the hair's perfect. It's solid. Yeah, it's mint, man. We got lucky on that one. So, I mean, I think I got him for like $10. Just amazing.
Great buy.
Yeah.
Anytime you can get a good figure for $10, it's worth it. Even if you already have one, it's worth doubling up.
Yeah. No, I mean, from 1987, and I've seen them go on eBay. Well, let me backtrack to that. Like, anybody listening, if you haven't been to a show, because this is my first toy show, you gotta go. I mean, because the prices are just so much better than eBay. So much better. Like, basically half price. Nice. And you can negotiate. I negotiated on every figure but one today. And everybody said yes to the prices that I offered. I just, it doesn't hurt to ask. I mean, you don't really have that on eBay.
No. No. Sometimes they'll throw out their best offer and you'll give them like $1.50 less and they won't accept it. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not sure what your best offer was. You didn't really mean it. Yeah.
And it just means a lot because you can actually see it. You can pick the figure up. It's definitely the way to go. And we did the early bird special. I mean, we went that first hour.
Yeah.
It's a couple dollars more, but it's another thing that's well worth the money because you actually have time to look. There's not nearly as many people pushing. You can talk to the vendors. It's hard for the vendors. Like, they want to, like, you have a question, you want to talk to them, or you just want to talk about Joe's to them, or any toy, whatever. Well, they can't do that when there's 20 people talking to them. When you go in the early bird, there's still a lot of people, but nothing like what there was when we left.
By the time you left, pretty full.
It was packed. So, and then the other thing is, like, if it's in the winter like it is now, March, it was cold this morning, and people all bundled up. But by the time we left there at 10:30, hot. I mean, it was hot in there. Yeah.
So, how many people ended up coming behind you? If you guys were around 200 in front of you, how many were behind you?
I don't know if we were really 200. I was just kind of throwing out a number.
Yeah.
But I posted the picture. So whatever number that would be that's posted on my Twitter, you can double that of what was behind us.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then that was just at the early bird, So who knows? I don't know how many people came in by the end. It'd be interesting to get the number from them.
That makes me excited for JoeFest to see what kind of great deals we're gonna find.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing was like JoeFest. You took that. Going to that show, and it's going to be 90% of it but Joe's when you go there. Probably, I would assume, like the same amount of vendors.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. But the other thing is I went with a specific list of what I wanted, and I think that's important. And I'm going to do it, like, even write it down, like, and check them off, because you can get overwhelmed. There's like, you can go to a certain table and they just have, huge totes full of, the shells or the baggies full of Joe's, and you're just digging, and you want. You know what I mean? You see a bunch of stuff, but you're trying to stay on point.
Right.
At least I was, and I had a hard time keeping myself on point a few different occasions.
Oh, I bet.
Because I went down with not a whole lot of money, but I had a plan of what I was looking for, and I definitely had enough to get that. But I ended up walking out and only spending about half what I took. So because I got what I was there for, and I got a few extra things, and then, I'll keep looking. I didn't get I got what I went for the most part. And then what they didn't have at the show, I kept that money in reserve for when we come across it.
Nice. Good deal.
All right. Then after we got Wild Card, the Mean Dog Driver, then what is the name of this playset that I picked up? I always forget the name of this one.
It's the machine gun
nest one.
Yeah.
But it's complete, and I will find the name. It's the one that has the anti-tank treads or guards with the restricted area sign. So yeah, I put this at a still of a price, and the sticker on this is so much better than I've seen them in the past. So yeah, it was cool. This was one of the pieces I was looking for because for the diorama. The pizza box diorama that we got planned. This is going to fit perfect in there.
Yes. And you got the box, the ammo box that goes along with it.
It's complete.
The gun's in great shape.
Mm-hmm. Stickers are nice on it.
Yeah. So that was a good one. Good one.
And then, after that, I ran into what I went for. Steel Brigade. The figure I have been looking for since I was 7 years old. And guess what they wanted for?
How much?
$135.
Not in bag.
Not in bag, not new. Looked really good condition.
Yeah.
I believe it was version D. $130. And I just couldn't pull the trigger on that. There was just no way. So,
now, one in bag sealed, would you consider that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably. With the patch and everything, I think maybe. Yeah. Yeah, I would possibly. I don't know if version D I would, but, you know, I'd have to think about that. But the real reason I went there is I wanted to get the Steel Brigade. That's what I was searching for. And I couldn't do that. And I walked up and the guy had a bunch of great stuff. And so I was looking through his case. Before I asked him the price, I was like, what? Well, you know, let me ask him about a couple other figures before I ask him about that, because I didn't know the price at this time. And also, I'm wearing the hoodie my wife made for me, the File Card Podcast hoodie, and it has a huge patch on the sleeve of the Steel Brigade. So I'm trying to like push that off to the side because I don't want him to see that, because it's hard to negotiate when you're like wearing that item.
Absolutely. It'd be like going to a car shop and getting dropped off by a taxi cab.
Right. It's the equivalent.
Right. They know you're there to buy something.
Right. So I end up asking about a bunch of other stuff, and then finally I ask at, and then he tells me like 130, 135. And I couldn't do that. So I end up we go and we look at a bunch of stuff. But I come back 2 or 3 more times and I look at it. I'm like, no. I'm thinking in my head, like, what should I offer him? You know, or would he take this? How do I want to approach him? Because I don't want to insult him, but there's no way I can pay close to that.
Yeah, I mean, even if you offered him $80, which is a pretty fair price for that figure.
Right.
I mean, you're still $50. I mean, yeah.
So we just weren't there. All right, then we go over to the other side. I see one of the vendors that I follow on Twitter and Instagram. I go over and I see what they have, the toy department. And lo and behold, they got one. And I ask them if they have any more, because immediately I noticed there's like some discoloration on the left arm, right below the patch right there. And what's crazy is the rest of the blue, because if you're familiar with the Steel Brigade, they got that light blue, and then the upper shoulders or arms is one color, and then like the elbows will age differently. So they can be like really, really off sometimes. But this one is super close and looks great. It's just that little bit of discoloration right there. And then I noticed just a tiny paint chip somewhere else. And I thought, you know what? That one's the one I'm looking for. Because I want two. I want the perfect one that I can have behind the glass. And then I want the one I can put on my nightstand. You know what I mean? And then I don't got to worry about it if I bump it and knock it over. Yeah, and they worked with me on the price, and I got it. It was just like a huge accomplishment for me personally. It's like, wow, finally. You know what I mean? Literally 30 years I've been looking for this figure. You know, I remember, you know, having the insert and hiding it in my books during reading sessions at school, and I would just be looking at that and you know, trying to figure out what I was going to name myself. Because, of course, this is you. This is you when you're a kid. This is your action figure. Like, what am I going to name myself? What weapons? I was going to, you know, be a karate expert, too, because I was a huge Karate Kid fan.
Right.
Yeah. So, yep, I finally got him. Here, hold him.
Oh, this is a big moment for me, too, to hold him. The patch is nice. There's like a little discoloration. It almost appears to be almost a burn mark.
Yeah, I'm not sure. You know, almost it's really strange how it's just right there in the corner. It almost looks like it could be wiped off, but I don't think that's the case. But you know what? I'm not worried about it. I got him. I won.
And he looks good. Mm-hmm. He looks really good. I love that blue.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like the colors they used on him were perfect for that.
Mm-hmm. It's very 80s.
Very, very cool. I'm glad you got it for a solid price so you can enjoy them. Right?
Yeah.
We've talked before, like, sometimes when you overpay for them, you can't enjoy them.
Right. No. This one, I mean, it wasn't cheap. I mean, but it wasn't overly expensive either. Yeah. Like, this one's going to be okay. Like, I'm comfortable putting it on my nightstand, and when my kids or my daughters run over, if they pick it up and look at it, check it out, I'm not going to freak out about it. Right. You know, I'll be able to take that, put it in a diorama, and enjoy having it.
Sweet.
Yeah. So it's awesome.
So when you pick that up, I mean, you thinking like top 5 accomplishments of life?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because when you texted me that, I swore to myself I probably hadn't been that happy for you since the birth of your last child.
I was just like,
I was so pumped for you.
Yeah, like I was so excited. It was just like, you know what, I can go home now. Like I was ready to leave, even though I didn't see only looked through half the show, but I was like, I got what I came for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So everything after that, and I didn't buy a whole lot more after this because it was just like, I won. You know what I mean? I got what I was looking for. Just pumped to finally have it. You know, and it's like I love the rifle. You know, it's just you know, it was the Crimson Guards rifle, just recolored, the original one. You know, it's you know, basically an M16 style weapon with a bayonet on it, but that bayonet on the front of it when you were a kid looking at it in the brochures, it's just like, you know, the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah, they didn't repurpose that one too many times.
And the other thing I loved about it too, or always thought about when I was a kid, was it was gray. You know, similar to like the color of a real rifle, which, you know, was something that was you always enjoyed as a kid.
Yeah. Well, especially when, you know, the 90s when they started getting blue weapons and green, you know, they started using those fluorescent colors on stuff.
Oh man, that's awesome.
So that's it then. The podcast is over.
Yep, no more. We're done.
Right, it's all over.
3 episodes. I've accomplished my mission in life. I'm done.
Done collecting. Joe's done with everything.
Yep.
All right. Well, for the sake of those listening, we should just at least finish this episode, right?
Oh. So anyway, actually, before I ended up getting him, I ran into... Hold on one second. I want to give the guy's name. I can't remember his first name. I apologize. But he's the Ohio Nerd. He's got a YouTube channel. Real cool guy. He's also a dealer. And I picked up some of the parts for the Mean Dog.
Right.
Yeah. So, he had just the bin and went through it. And I did some... He's a good negotiator. I made him a couple different offers. And, he came back at me pretty good. The upper gun that goes onto the front of the vehicle, you know, I tried to talk him down on that. He only would move slightly. And then the missiles, I was talking to him. He said, "Hey, bud, I already got those priced to sell." He's a good negotiator. So he was a super cool guy. He was telling me about his channel and noticed my shirt, asked us about ours. So, yeah. Cool. And then, like I said, I didn't do a whole lot of purchasing after that. But I did find a bin that had Drop Zone. Now, I picked him up. If you're familiar with him, he is part of Sky Patrol. He only had his parachute. He's incomplete. But, I mean, he's just in great condition. He just needs an O-ring replaced. His paint seems to be perfect. I was pumped about that. The Sky Patrol guys are like $40 online, you know, on eBay. You're going to pay those. So, I don't want to.
No, his patch is good.
Mm-hmm.
His patch is good. And, you know, he has the silver. It's not scratched because a lot of times that would scratch off. You're right. Other than the O-ring needing replaced, he looks great. And we actually had him when we were a kid.
Yep.
And for some reason, I don't know, you know, what it was about him, but I kind of would use him sometimes as in a leadership role.
Okay.
And he was also one of the guys I would use as me. Again, I don't know why, but you know, he just kind of had that look about him. You know, I think all the Sky Patrol guys had like a leadership commando look to him.
And a senior look to him.
Yep. Right. Yeah, that's a good word for it. So I always enjoyed having him, and actually, right up until the day I left for college, he was sitting in my room on a shelf.
Really?
Yeah. He was one of the last ones out, and I have no idea why he was still out and didn't make it into a box away, but he did. He sat on my dresser, so he was one of my favorites. And I don't think at that time I could have told you his name. You know, I think a lot of that had kind of been wiped from my memory, but that's awesome. Good one. Probably my favorite Sky Patrol. So. Oh,
and I played with him as a kid, and he was one of my favorites as a kid because he's a repaint of Do You Know Who?
I don't.
The Strato Viper.
Nice. Okay.
And I know that now that all of the Sky Patrol's bodies are repaints of former Joes, and then, you know, got new head sculpts. But at the time, I didn't know that. But I always knew that this was the Strato Viper costume or mold. Because I was always a fan of the Strato Viper, so to see him have it, I was pumped about. So, but yeah, I definitely enjoyed him as a kid too. I never understood his weapon. You know what? I'm going to leave it at that. We won't get into too detail. We'll wait till we get the rest of the Sky Patrol, and then we'll just do a whole show with these guys. They're so much fun. Yeah. But he did come with the actual backpack parachute, but he didn't come with the silver parachute. Okay. And I picked him up extremely cheap. And I'm okay. I'm not going to drop them out of a window, so I don't need that parachute myself. Like, I'm not a completist, so yeah, you know, it's cool just like this.
Nice.
And then from the same people, and great condition also, I picked up the Frag Viper. Do you remember the Frag Viper?
I do, but I don't. Their helmet had too much of an alien look for me when I was a kid, and I never could get into him.
Okay, see, he was one of my favorites, you know, and it's probably around the time because he was an '89, so I would have been 7 years old. So like that space look was like right. I don't know, it just worked for me. And then his weapon, though, he flung those grenades that connected to his backpack, which was just perfect. And this one, you know, I got this one for a steal, I think, because his paint and everything's perfect. That upper patch, it's in silver, is in perfect condition. Just needs a new O-ring. And we have the original backpack from when we were kids, and it's in great shape. So with all the grenades connected to it.
Sweet.
So the only thing now we need is the tube. That's the only part we're missing.
So what'd you get him for?
$8.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So I think they were asking 10, and I just asked if they'd take 8 for it, and she said no problem.
Great. Wow, his blue still has great coloring.
Yeah.
You know, with that brown and blue together.
And here's the other thing that was crazy for me is they were all just in plastic baggies in this big tote, and you're just like shifting through it. And in my mind, I'm like, these are all like in mint condition, and they're just getting banged up. Like, it was driving me crazy that like they weren't there. And I wanted to buy more. It was just I got what I came for. You know what I mean? And then we used the rest because we got some other plans for some things we want to pick up.
That's cool.
So the last one that I picked up was mainframe. And we have a mainframe, but this one is in better condition and complete. And I picked him up from Paul from Plastic Battles. So yeah, he had a booth there and got to talk to him, and I grabbed him while we were there. We talked about him already on the show. One of our favorites. So I seen him complete at a real good price, so I couldn't pass him up.
Yes. Now I'm thinking Eli's going to want to buy that other one off of you.
Yeah.
So that's cool. He looks great. His accessories are awesome. Mm-hmm. They look really good. Yeah. Again, the silver's in great shape. So
yeah,
good job on that one.
Now, you have to go. Next week is Toy Palooza in Pittsburgh.
I'm going.
Okay.
I'm going.
You have to.
I'm going. Me and my daughters are going. My wife and son are going to be out of town, but me and my daughters are going. I will not be able to be there early, like early, but we'll be there. We'll be there for sure.
Yeah. So I look forward to hearing about those stories. I would make a list. Seriously, of like what you're looking for before you go in. And they already posted their vendors too online, so you can check some of that out and get an idea.
I have my list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I've got like my shopping list for JoeFest, so maybe that's the one I'll
could start at the top there.
Yeah, I don't have it with me.
Now the other thing is one of the vendors, because Sky Patrol is on my list, they had them there. 2 different vendors, complete, for pretty good prices. It was just more than I was looking to spend. So I think that's going to be what I hunt for at JoeFest now. Be the Steel Brigade patch if we get to go. And excuse me. Yeah, the Steel Brigade patch and Sky Patrol.
Okay. So are you holding off then on the mint Sky Patrol or the mint Steel Brigade?
I don't know. We'll have to wait till we get there.
Okay. So I do got a couple questions though about the show. Some things that we like. I want to know if you saw there. General parts. Any luck?
Zero general parts. And I went through every bin I could. No. I asked a couple vendors, and they said no.
They give you any feedback on how hard they are to find?
No, they just kind of shrugged their shoulders and were like, no. So I'm assuming not very often. Like, I really got the feeling like if we don't find them at JoeFest, then we're probably going to have to unfortunately search eBay for them.
Yeah, that's the expensive route. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think we got some stuff though here at the house. We could probably look through these buckets again and
yeah, we'll give it another shot.
Yeah. All right. Did you see a flag?
No. Didn't see one.
A terror drum?
Nope.
No terror drum.
No terror drum.
That's really disappointing. I guess, me and Eli have kicked around finding a terror drum for a decent price, but if they didn't have one out there.
No, I didn't see one. I didn't see anything. I've seen very, very few large items.
No terror drums. That's surprising. And then you never came across the Chuckles shipwreck set?
Nope.
Nope,
the Collector Club set never. The only Collector Club stuff I ran into, there was the green quad, or ferret, excuse me, that they redid in 06.
Okay.
And Yeah, I saw that, and it had a good price on it. Kind of wish I would have picked it up. I passed on that because that's when I was still hunting for the Steel Brigade, so I needed to keep my money on me.
Yeah.
And then I didn't make it that way back to that far back.
Is that Ferret and Dreadnought colors?
No, it's in like a dark green. It's the green and the gold. What are those? The Coil Vipers?
Okay.
Yeah, it's like those.
Oh, like the Coil Vipers you have?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's really nice.
What did you see any like Army Builder sets like from 06, 07
no,
when
I
they
didn't see any of those. I didn't see any of the guys.
No.
Like not on card or loose. I didn't see any.
So most of what you saw was vintage?
Yeah, almost all of what I saw. And then they did have 2 vendors that had the modern Joes.
Mm-hmm.
And those tables were extremely busy. So I guess I didn't realize how popular some of the modern era stuff was till today. And one of them laughed at me. The vendor actually laughed at, and I was taken back by it. So my daughters both went Scarlets, and so the modern version was the way I want to go. It's a better mold. It's just they just want to play with them,
Mm-hmm.
So I was asking them. I said, "Hey, do you have any?" Because I think he wanted like $15 a piece for them. And I said, "Do you have any in played with condition?" He just laughed at me. Laughed hard. He said, "There's no such thing as a 25th anniversary played with condition figure."
That's funny. So you didn't pick them up?
Nah.
Well, sounds like you had a great time.
It was, and you know what? My son came with me too, and he was a champ. Like he got up 5 because Joe's aren't his thing. Classic toys, he's not. He's almost 15 years old. That's not what he's interested in. But he got up and he hung out with me, and we had a fun day of it.
Good. That's awesome. And you took him to Subway, which makes me feel like you're a little cheap.
He picked it. Okay.
Okay, sure he did. Well, I think that wraps it up for us. Really enjoyed hearing about your time, Joe.
I had a blast. It was my first one. I definitely do it again. And hey, this just so people got an idea of like what I had to do. I had to drive 3 hours to the show. I had to drive 3 hours here or to Pennsylvania so I could drop my son off at the end of the weekend and do this podcast with Mike. And now I'm going to drive 3 hours back to West Virginia. So it's like 9 hours for today to happen. And it was so worth it for every minute. Like, it's just like a blast. Like, the whole process, everything about today is just great.
Well, awesome.
Well worth it.
Awesome. And hopefully next weekend is good for me.
Yeah, I think it will be. I've seen some of the videos from last year's Toypalooza. It was big. And then D&E, they're in charge of it. They always have a great Joe selection.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
So, because they had a Steel Brigade at their last show, and I was tempted to drive out, but I had to work. There was nothing I could do about it.
It paid off because you found a good one.
Yeah. Oh, so just so everybody knows, we're now on Facebook and on Instagram. So if you're over there, follow us, give us a like, and we're pretty much on all podcast platforms. So we'd appreciate it if you enjoy the show, if you give us some stars or write us a review. Help us out a lot.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Hey, take care.